We will audit and rebuild your Google business profile in 48 hours so you stop losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in cases to other dentists in your market. If you're interested in having more premium cases come walking into your practice, keep watching. Now, the problem is your Google business profile is costing you premium cases every single week, and you may not even know it's happening. A patient 4 blocks from your practice searches dental implants near me. Google's GPS knows exactly where they are. You could literally be the closest qualified dentist to them, and they'll still book with someone 6 miles away. This is what I call the proximity paradox, and it's bleeding practices dry. We're talking $150,000 to $200,000 per year in lost revenue from just 2 to 3 premium cases per month that should be yours but are going to competitors. And every single week that you don't fix this, you are literally handing those cases to dentists who might not even be as good as you. We're talking $25,000 all on 4 cases, $90,000 full mouth restos, or even $6,000 to $9,000 implants just because they showed up in the top 3 map pack spots and you didn't. And that's where we come in. We are going to completely audit and rebuild your Google business profile in the next 48 hours using the exact optimization framework that's helped practices go from invisible to top 3 map pack rankings in as little as 2 weeks. So if you're ready to get started, you can click the button below and buy it right now for just $97 and we'll get started right away. Or if you want to see exactly how this works and why you're losing these cases, keep watching. Now, I'm going to guess right now you probably haven't given your Google business profile a second thought in months or even years. Or you think, my Google business profile is good enough because it exists. I mean, it's got your address, your phone number, your hours, and maybe you even got a number of decent reviews. And it's tempting to think, okay, I'm in the neighborhood, of course Google will show me to the people who are close. And while that's partially true, here's what's actually happening. Google's algorithm has evolved dramatically since 2021, and most dentists have no idea how much money they're leaving on the table because their profile isn't speaking Google's language. Proximity became the #1 driver on Google Business Profile, but just because you're close doesn't mean you show up. Your primary category needs to be strategic. If you're set as dentist, but your competitor is set as cosmetic dentist, and someone searches for veneers, guess who has the edge? It's not you. And it's even more nuanced. There's a huge difference between dentist and dental clinic, and if you don't understand the strategy between the two, you may be hurting yourself more than helping. Your secondary categories need to explicitly signal the high-value procedures you offer. If you're not listed as dental implants periodontist or orthodontist, Google probably doesn't think you offer those services. You may show up somewhere on the list, but you're certainly not going to be in the top 3 results, the ones that get 60% of all clicks. And that's not all. Your business description needs to connect your practice to your location using exact entities and keywords that Google's natural language processing algorithms are scanning for. It's not about keyword stuffing, it's about semantic density and telling Google in their language what you do and where you do it. In your service section, the section that most practices leave completely blank or barely fill out or have generic descriptions and incomplete service lists, that's the section that's generating snippets on AI results. Those are the little snippets that show up next to your listing that say things like provides dental implants. If you're not explicitly listing dental implants or All-on-4 or Invisalign or full mouth restoration as services in that section, Google cannot justify showing you for those searches. And guess what? Your competitors 6 miles away, if they're the ones that fill that part out, they're the ones getting the case. Now, maybe you've tried to optimize this yourself. You Googled how to optimize Google Business Profile, maybe read a few blogs, you've made some changes and nothing happened. Maybe you even hired an SEO agency that charges you a monthly retainer of $2,000 to $5,000, but they're focused on your website while your Google Business Profile sits there bleeding cases every single day. And the worst part is, you know something's wrong. You see competitors with worse reviews, worse locations, worse clinical skills getting the cases that you know you can do. You're running Facebook ads, you're spending money on marketing, but it's not converting because when people search for you or search for the procedures you offer, you're not showing up in a way that converts. And I'm here to tell you this will not fix itself. At least not until you rebuild your Google Business Profile the right way. Now, for you to do this, to fix it yourself, you'd have to become an expert in Google's local search algorithm, which is always changing. The last time it changed at the time I'm recording this was just a month or so ago, and part of that change is that they're going to be making more smaller changes more frequently. You'd also have to understand proximity filters versus authority signals. You'd have to learn about semantic entity optimization. And you'd have to do this all while running your practice, managing your team, and treating your patients. And honestly, I don't blame you for not doing this. The platform has changed a lot and it's not always obvious, but the reality is, if you're not adapting, you're slowly dying even if you don't know it yet. So here's what makes this offer completely different. We've built the GBP Authority Rebuild specifically for practices doing high-value procedures who are tired of losing cases to worse dentists with better profiles. We audit your entire Google Business Profile against the latest algorithm updates. We'll identify every technical gap that's costing you visibility. We then completely rebuild your categories, your services, and your descriptions, customized to your practice and optimized for your area and the specific high-value cases you want. This isn't some generic templated service. We do market research for your specific area. We analyze what's working in your competitive landscape. We optimize for the procedures that actually matter to your specific practice, the kind of cases you want to target. And we deliver all of this in 48 hours. So this means you go from invisible to optimized in 2 days. Not 2 months, not 6 months, 48 hours. And here's something else you need to understand. Within a 10-minute drive of the vast majority of dental practices, there is at least $2 million spent per month on premium work. And before your eyes bulge out of your head, you can't possibly capture all of that $2 million. That would be insane. But even just 2 to 3 additional premium cases per month, 2 to 3 all-on-4 cases or full mouth reconstructions, or even Invisalign cases. If you capture just that, just 2 to 3 additional premium cases per month, that's $150,000, $200,000, or more in annual revenue. But only if you show up when they search. And here's the brutal truth. This is a zero-sum game. If you don't get those cases, someone else will. Every competitor inside that same proximity circle you're in is competing with you. You're competing for the same top 3 spots in the map pack. And the ones who have their profiles optimized, they're the ones who are getting those cases. The ones who don't are wondering why the phone's not ringing. Now, your Google Business Profile is one of 10 levers in what we call the local leverage system. It's the most visible lever from the standpoint that it's the first your patients interact with, but it's not the only one. We've seen practices change their Google Business Profile and see huge movement as quick as 2 weeks. But results also depend on the other levers, things like your website content, your review velocity, and your review content, your local marketing efforts. These things can make a massive difference and either accelerate or hinder your Google Business Profile performance. We'll talk about all of this on your initial call when we're learning about your practice and what cases you want walking through the door of your practice. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know this will actually work for my practice? And here's the thing. Google's algorithm rewards authority, and authority is built through precision. We're not guessing, we're not using generic templates, we're analyzing your specific market, your specific competitors, and your specific service mix. And then we're telling Google in their language exactly why you should show up for those high-value searches. This is not for everyone. If you're just doing bread and butter dentistry and don't want these high-value cases, this isn't going to help you. If you're happy doing drill and fill dentistry, don't buy this. But if you're a practice doing implants, doing cosmetic work, doing full mouth cases, and you'd like more of that kind of work, this is exactly what you need. For $97, we'll audit and rebuild your Google Business Profile in just 48 hours. We'll fix the technical gaps, we'll optimize for the cases you want, we'll deliver specific recommendations for the rest of your profile. And when you're done, you'll have a profile that's ready to compete in your market. So, click the button below and go to checkout. Once you're in, we'll schedule your initial call and we'll learn about your practice and get to work immediately. You'll have a completely rebuilt Google Business Profile in 48 hours, optimized for the high-value cases that are sitting right there in your local market. Click Click the button below and let's help you stop leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on the table.